This is one of the best business models for the creator economy.
What problem do you think you can really solve for people right now? And I think that as entrepreneurs, our job is just to be paid problem solvers. If there was any kind of creator who is prime for this kind of business model, a YouTuber is in the perfect position.
You gotta just press record.
99% of content creators still find themselves broke, and that's because they're missing critical pieces of their content creation empire that are critical for making this a sustainable business and income and actually going full time in a real way. And so, Brock, welcome to the show.
Sean, thank you for having me.
So tell us your story. What was happening back around 2021 for you?
Yeah. So my business started when I was a freshman in college. I was a student athlete. So I had books and ball all day long. I had very little free time, and I definitely didn't have the time to get like a normal, typical job. And so my mom came to me when she kind of was like, okay, well then let's start a business. And at that time, a course was what my original business was. It was $19, so a relatively low price point. I didn't have a huge social media following. And in order to figure out what that course was, she asked me, what problem do you think you can really solve for people right now? And I think that as entrepreneurs, our job is just to be paid problem solvers. And so I had to identify two things in order to create this first course and thus my first business. It was, what problem can I solve? And where is there a gap in the market? Or basically, what problem needs solving? Because plenty of problems have already been solved. So what problem can I solve that hasn't already been solved? And at that time, it's going to sound funny to say it now, Snapchat was all over the news for the dangers and the beware, and teens are on it and who knows what they're up to. And so everyone was really concerned about Snapchat, very similar to how they're concerned about, say, TikTok nowadays. But at that same time, I had just taught my parents how to use Snapchat as a way to communicate with me as a freshman in college. And so I was like, well, I know how to use Snapchat. I am 19 years old, so I'm a teen. I know what these kids are up to. And so I could make a course basically teaching how to use Snapchat and how to keep your teens safe on the app. And that was my very first business and how it got started.
Yeah, that's wild. It's the best business model for YouTube content creators, especially that are in education. And, you know, one of the things, Brock, that's interesting is I was at Social Media Marketing World, and I talked to the course creator platforms, Teachable, Thinkific. They had some staff there, and we got into a conversation, and they said, our most successful course creators using our platform are YouTubers. Wow. And they said the reason why was because if 65% of people are going to YouTube to solve a problem or ask a question, your discoverability there, which is the whole promise of ERA, is the opportunity to get found, get discovered, and build know, like, and trust in a free environment, right? Where they're watching free YouTube videos. But then people have also, what's already happened between you and them is they've already decided, oh, like, I kind of like this person's vibe. Oh, this person's been helpful. And then if you're able to be like, hey, if you want all the things all in one place, like, I also have this course available. And it could be anywhere, right? Almost everybody listening to this at some point should create an online course. It's just such a great asset. Even if it's not your main thing and you lean heavy in other directions, you know, teaching how you did what you did, or to your point, getting inside of the Marketing Impact Academy and just going through the process of unearthing some things you don't even know yet.
Totally.
You don't even know what you don't know.
Yeah, totally. And there's so much of that in there. And I also think, speaking specifically about YouTube creators, is from a technical standpoint, they have those skills to create the videos, create the audio, create that course. It's essentially the same thing as making a YouTube video. The only thing is it's put in a specific strategic order and it's put behind a paywall. That's the only difference really between an e-course and a YouTube channel. Even the playlists on YouTube are very similar to what you would be offering inside of a e-course. And so I think that if there was any social media or any kind of creator who is prime for this kind of business model, a YouTuber is in the perfect position.
I totally agree. Some of our listeners are passionate about documenting their life, about vlogging, about sharing their story, and which I think is amazing, but that is one of the least viable creator economy businesses, in our opinion, that we teach. What I actually love is that you figured out a viable business that actually funds your passion projects. It is our conviction at the Think Media podcast that real artists don't starve. We all hear about starving artists, but real artists don't starve. And so that now you can do that stress-free because you have this other thing paying the bills. So for some listening to this, I just want to even speak directly to our community. It's like is maybe you have your passion, but you're torn because might be something practical, and there might be different brands. We always encourage people, figure out the brand that is the shortest path to revenue.
Yes.
Because then once you have cash flow, you can then fund your artistic projects, as opposed to saying, I'm just going to have a vlogging channel. So maybe like flipping your thinking and the sequencing of your events. But if you do the right things in the right order, it could be the door that opens up to launch all your creative projects over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Absolutely. And I think, like you said, one of the biggest challenges or the biggest mistakes that a lot of early creators make, new creators will stumble on, is knowing which to start with, which step to do first, what to create first. And I loved your point about picking the path to revenue quickest. What's going to get you to making money the fastest? Maybe not what you're most passionate about, maybe not what you want to do for the rest of your life, but what's going to be able to make you money so you can get the ball rolling? Where are the quick wins to be found? Because if you are consistently, chasing your passion project, but there's no income coming in, there's no revenue, you're not able to keep food on the table, then it's not going to last very long. And it's going to be a really draining experience. Where instead, if you start from a place of, I'm going to take care of my basic needs, which in the world we live in, a basic need is you need some sort of income. You need some sort of money to be able to afford these passion projects, this art, whatever it is that you truly want to do. And so to bring this back to my own story, I wasn't passionate about helping moms keep their teens safe on Snapchat. I wasn't passionate about, teaching people how to grow a business on Snapchat. It was just something that I had learned to do and I was good at. And I recognized that there was a gap in the market that I could fill. And now I've grown and I've built these other passions that I can go more into, and I can make vlogs of myself snowboarding, even though I know that those are going to be the absolute worst performing videos on my YouTube channel. I can have the freedom to take a few hours and edit my own snowboard video and pretend I'm Travis Rice and post it on my YouTube channel. It'll get 200 views, but I'm fired up about it. And I'm only able to do that because I entered the pain cave early on, and I embraced the suck, and I embraced, hey, I might not love doing this, but I'm good at it, and there's a market for it.
If you want to watch my full conversation with Brock Johnson, just click or tap the screen and hit like if you got value out of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.